Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 21, Conversation between Swayambhuva Manu and Kartamuni, text number 55 onwards. Adharmascha samedheta lolu pyare vyankushar niribhi shayane tvahi lokoyam dasyu grasto vinangshati. If you gave up all thought of the world's situation, unrighteous would flourish. For men who hanker only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack, and the world would perish. Because the scientific division of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams is now being extinguished, the entire world is being governed by unwanted men who have no training in religion, politics, or social order. And it's in a very deplorable condition. In the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams, there are regular training principles for the different classes of men, just as in the modern age, there is a necessity for engineers, medical practitioners, and electricians, and they are properly trained in different scientific institutions. Similarly, in former times, the higher social orders, namely the intelligent class, Brahmins, the ruling class, the Kshatriyas, mercantile class, the Vaishyas, were properly trained. Bhagavad Gita describes the duties of the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. When there is no such training, one simply claims that because he is born in a Brahman or Kshatriya family, he is therefore a Brahman or a Kshatriya, even though he performs the duties of a Shudra. Such undue claims to being a higher caste man make the system of scientific social orders into a caste system, completely degrading the original system. Thus, the society is now in chaos, and there is neither peace nor prosperity. It is clearly stated herein that unless there is a vigilance of a strong king, impious, unqualified men will claim a certain status in society, and that will make the social order perish. So Prabhupada wrote these purports sometime in for third canto, sometimes in 1970s. And these purports are still so relevant. And the society is in chaos because unwanted men who have no training in religion, political, or social order, they are the ones who are governing the world. It's all over the world. And I don't want to comment anything politically, but this is what is happening in India as well. India is not away from all this. So how can there be peace and prosperity all over the world, or even in the state or in the country, if the leaders are not trained properly? The only training or only aspirations they have is, by hook or crook, let me remain in the power. And remaining in the power means I collect more and more and more and more for me and my further generations. That's all. There is no training or no desire to do any service, to do any good for the country, for the population. There's no such desire. And the present system of democracy, Prabhupada used to call it democracy. He said, how can you have fourth class people choose a person who's going to be a good leader? That's not at all possible. So Prabhupada always advocated this monarchical system, But even the places where there are kings, even that is already ruined. Just like once I met person from Middle East, and he said he was commenting. He said, "In your country there is democracy, and it's a nonsense system." I was like, "How is it nonsense? How is having a king in your country better than democracy?" He said, "We have a king in our country. How much is he gonna steal? How much is he gonna eat? After a while, he'll get tired because he knows he's the king and nobody can kick him out." But in your country, every 5 years you have new leaders, and they all they do is for 5 years they just eat, they just steal money from here and there, and they know because after 5 years maybe they won't be there. So let them make money. He said, "Yeah, we have king. How much is he gonna steal? How much money he could take?" And he knows he is gonna remain the king. He will not steal. He doesn't steal. Means what he was saying is everybody is corrupt. But the monarchy system is better because there is only one person who's corrupt. Then compared to leaders every 5 years or less than that, and who all are corrupt. So that kind of system, that kind of political system, kings or leaders, and the Brahmins, obviously, they are the names only. They claim they are Brahmin because they're born in a Brahmin family, but they have no knowledge of the scriptures and no knowledge how to lead the society on the right path. Similarly, Kshatriya and Shudras, a complete mess, complete mess. And it's going to become more and more mess as the Kali Yuga progresses. अथापि पृच्छे त्वां वीर यदर्थं त्वम् इहागतः तद्वयं निर्व्यलीकेन प्रतिपद्यामहे कृतः. In spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here. Whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation. When a guest comes to a friend's house, it is understood that there is some special purpose. Kardam Muni could understand that such a king, great king as Swayambhuva, although traveling to inspect the condition of his kingdom, must have had some special purpose to come to his hermitage. Thus he prepared himself to fulfill the king's desire. Formerly, it was customary that the sages used to go to the kings, and the kings used to visit the sages in the hermitages. Each was glad to fulfill the other's purpose. That this reciprocal relationship is called bhakti karya. There is a nice verse describing the relationship of mutual beneficial interest between the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. Kshatram Dvijatvam. Kshatram means the royal order and Dvijatvam means the Brahminical order. The two were meant for mutual interest. The royal order would give protection to the Brahmins for the cultivation of spiritual advancement in society, and the Brahmins would give the valuable instruction to the royal order on how the state and the citizens can gradually be elevated in spiritual perfection. So the Brahmins, the job of Brahmins was, besides teaching the scriptures, also to give valuable instructions to the royal order how the state and the citizens can gradually be elevated in spiritual perfection. Means the Brahman should be at that level of spiritual perfection when they can instruct the kings to how to rule the state. And the kings would go to the Brahminical class to get the instructions and ask them, in fact, ask them also the goal of life. So kings were also Rajarishis. Because they wanted to understand what's the goal, what's the purpose of a king, what are the duties of a king. Because kings understood that if they don't rule properly, then either they can get cursed by the Brahmins, or secondly, then they will have to suffer after they leave the body. Because anybody who's in any position of leadership is a very responsible position. It's not like you can do whatever you want and nobody's watching. After leaving the body, there are so many agents who will take you to Yamraj, who will take king like that to Yamraj, and then the Yamraj will decide. Just like Prabhupada either he wrote in his purport or he said in one of his lectures that our former Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, when he died, although he was a Prime Minister of India for a long time, when he died, he took the body of a dog in Switzerland in a family where they already had another dog. Prabhupada was that, he gave that much details. This Nehru, he took the body of a dog and he had to share the love of the family with another dog. So if one is a king or one is a leader and he doesn't follow the dharma rakshati rakshita. If we protect dharma, dharma will protect us. But if we don't protect dharma, then there's a big price to pay. Big price. Text, chapter 22. The marriage of Gardamuni and Devahuti. Text 1. Maitre Vacha. Evam avishkrita shesha gunakarma dayo munim. Savrid ivatam samrado paratam vachaha. Sri Maitra said, after describing the greatness of emperor's manifold qualities and activities, the sage became silent, and the emperor, feeling modesty, addressed him as follows. Text number 2. Manuruvacha Brahma srijat swamukhato yushmanatma paripsaya chando mayastapo vidya yoga yuktan lambatan. Manu replied, to expand himself in Vedic knowledge, Lord Brahma, the personified Veda from his face, created you. The Brahmins were full of austerity, knowledge, and mystic power, and are averse to sense gratification. So far Kardam Muni was glorifying Swayambhuva Manu, and now Swayambhuva Manu is glorifying Kardam Muni. The purpose of the Vedas is to propagate the transcendental knowledge of the absolute truth. The Brahmins were created from the mouth of the Supreme Person, and therefore they are meant to spread the knowledge of the Vedas in order to spread the glories of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says that all the Vedas are meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is especially mentioned here, Yoga Yuktam Alampata, that Brahmins are full of mystic power and are completely averse to sense gratification. Actually, there are two kinds of occupations. One occupation in the material world is sense gratification, and the other occupation is spiritual activity, to satisfy the Lord by his glorification. Those who engage in sense gratification are called demons, and those who spread the glorification of the Lord or satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord are called demigods. It is specifically mentioned here that the Brahmins are created from the face of the cosmic personality of Virat Purusha. Similarly, the Kshatriyas are said to be created from his arms, and Vaishyas are created from his waist, and the Shudras are created from his legs. Brahmins are specially meant for austerity, learning, and knowledge, and are averse to all kinds of sense gratification. So these are the qualities of Brahmins, some of the qualities. They're averse to sense gratification because they have a higher goal to achieve. And for that, tapasya is very much required. So two kinds of paths Prabhupada mentioned. One is pravritti marg and one is nivritti marg. Pravritti means one who is engaged in sense gratification, more and more engaged in that. And nivritti means totally averse to it and more engaged in spiritual activities. Text number 3. Tatrana ya srijashchasmanando sahasrata sahasrapat hridayam tasya hi brahma kshatramanga prachakshate. For the protection of the Brahmans, a thousand-legged supreme being created us, the Kshatriyas, from his 1,000 arms. Hence the Brahmans are said to be his heart and the Kshatriyas his arms. Kshatriyas are specifically meant to maintain the Brahmans because if the Brahmans are protected, then the head of civilization is protected. Brahmans are supposed to be the head of the social body, and if the head is clear and has not gone mad, then everything is in proper position. So this is how important the Brahmans are. Brahmans means the intelligent class. Intelligent class, not in terms of technical knowledge, intelligent class in terms of spiritual knowledge, who can lead the public spiritually, especially the Kshatriyas. Because if Kshatriyas or the administrative class is spiritually inclined, they will definitely rule over the rest of the population in a spiritual manner, in a way that everybody can advance spiritually. That is the beauty of a Kshatriya. But we don't have proper Brahmins now, so forget about having proper Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, only Shudras are there. And Shudras don't understand scriptures. It's not the birth Shudras, by caste Shudras. No. The Shudras is anybody who doesn't understand the goal of life, the spirit, just the scriptures. And this is what the yesterday we were discussing. The Mughals and the British did. They attacked the Brahmin class of India. And what they attacked it, either they got rid of them, got them killed, or changed their mind, and that's it. It was easy to take control of the rest of the society. So it's very, very important for the people or the qualified people to become Brahmins, the real Brahmins, and preach the right message of scriptures. And slowly, like Prabhupada mentioned that he wants some devotees to become political leaders so they can change the society, because Prabhupada is the ultimate Brahman, Jagat Guru of all the ISKCON devotees. So any devotee who becomes a leader, political leader, then Guru Prabhupada is there to guide him through his books. He'll definitely guide him. So the need is that we become better devotees. And then if Krishna or Prabhupada wants to use us in this kind of service, we should be ready, we should be qualified, we should be eligible. Or any service, not just this service, not that we're going to have aspirations to become political leader. But if Prabhupada wants to use anybody in this kind of service, then we should be ready, that's all. The purport of this prayer is that the Lord is described as Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahman Hipaya. The purport of this prayer is that the Lord specifically protects the Brahmins and the cows. And then he protects all other members of society, Jagadhitaya. So first is Namo Brahman Devaya Go Brahman Hipaya. So first he protects the Brahman and go cows, and then the rest of society. It is his will that Universal welfare work depends on the protection of cows and the Brahmins. Thus, Brahminical culture and cow protection are the basic principles for human civilization. Kshatriyas are especially meant to protect the Brahmins, as is the supreme will of the Lord. Go Brahman Hitaicha. As within the body, the heart is a very important part. So the Brahmins are also the important element in human society. The Kshatriyas are more or like the whole body. Even though the whole body is bigger than the heart is more important. Again, Prabhupada is stressing on how important the Brahmins and Brahminical culture is, because that is when they can guide the whole society on the right path. Very, very important. अतो हि अन्यो अन्यमात्मा आत्मानं ब्रह्मरक्षत्रः च रक्षतः रक्षति स्माव्ययो devah स sad asadaत्मकः. That is why the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas protect each other as well as themselves. And the Lord Himself, who is both the cause and effect and is yet immutable, protects them through each other. The entire social structure of Varna and Ashram is a cooperative system meant to uplift all to the highest platform of spiritual realization. The Brahmins are intended to be protected by the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas were intended to be enlightened by the Brahmins. When the Brahmins and Kshatriyas cooperate nicely, the other subordinate divisions of Vaishyas or mercantile people and Shudras or laborer class automatically flourish. The entire elaborate system of Vedic society was therefore based on the importance of the Brahmins and Kshatriyas. The Lord is a real protector, but He is unattached to the affairs of protection. He creates Brahmins for the protection of the Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas for the protection of the Brahmins. He remains aloof from all the activities. Therefore, he is called Nirvikar, without activity. He has nothing to do. He is so great that he does not perform action personally, but his energies act. The Brahmins and Kshatriyas and anything that we see are different energies acting upon one another. And these energies, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras, they are acting on one another, and then they are fighting among each other. That's Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means with the age of fighting, hypocrisy and quarrel. Every time there is a quarrel. For a little thing, there could be a fight. So, but this is not how the system was designed, the system was set up. So, but still the Lord is in complete control. It's not that all this is happening and God is nowhere to be seen. It cannot happen like that. Of course, He doesn't interfere, but nothing happens without His sanction and without His control. So everything is controlled ultimately. And if He sees that there is a certain section of devotees, because devotees are very dear to Him, more than the Brahmins, no more than just the caste Brahmins. Brahmins means devotees. So the devotees are very, very dear to Him. And if the devotees who are fully surrendered serve Him with love and devotion, just like Srila Prabhupada, if we have devotees like Prabhupada, then Krishna definitely, for sure, He will give protection, not just protection, He can change the whole society. In fact, Prabhupada said at one place in India that if I have only 100 fully surrendered Indians as my disciples, we can take over the world in 18 days. He said the war of Mahabharata lasted only 18 days. And we can also take over the world in only 18 days. The problem is that I don't have fully surrendered 100 Indian devotees, Indian body devotees. So Prabhupada can give this guarantee. So just imagine what Krishna can do through Prabhupada or through his followers. Nothing is impossible for Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the Lord is a proprietor of all different bodies. The individual soul is a proprietor of his individual body. But the Lord clearly states, my dear Bharat, you must know that I am also Kshetragya. Kshetragya means the knower or protector, proprietor of the body. The individual soul is a proprietor of the individual body, but the super soul, the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the proprietor of all bodies everywhere. He is a proprietor not only of human bodies, but of birds, beasts, and all other entities. Not only on this planet, but on other planets also. He is the supreme proprietor, therefore, he does not become divided by protecting the different individual souls. He remains one and the same. Thus, that the sun appears on top of everyone's head when at the meridian does not imply that the sun becomes divided. One man thinks that the sun is on his head only, whereas 5,000 miles away, another man is thinking the sun is only on his head. Similarly, the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, is one, but he appears to individually oversee each individual soul. This does not mean the individual soul and super soul are one. Means all Prabhupada is saying is that the Lord is a proprietor of everybody, Lord is a controller of everybody, and He is in the everybody's heart as a super soul and guiding him. Means if we only have few devotees, pure devotees, just like Srila Prabhupada, or to the purity that Prabhupada wants, then Prabhupada can control the whole world through those devotees because Krishna is there to help Prabhupada. So everything is possible. Only thing is we have to become pure and more pure devotees. Anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a query from chapter 14, sloka 13, where Krishna gives more definitions and more restrictions for three gunas. Sattva, and he
Losing
speaks. Hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah, now I can.
So, I'm talking about chapter 14 from Srimad Bhagavad and Shloka 13. Krishna tells Arjuna about the three gunas, Rajoguna, the Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamo guna, and the characteristics dwindle within any human being as per their, depending on their ups and downs. There's the fruitful activities or the sinful activities they perform. So Prabhuji, like he talks about Tamo guna, like when somebody is in Tamo guna characteristics, he doesn't have the knowledge what he's doing actually. He just make use of all the luxuries and everything, okay, without of any knowledge, without of any tactfully handling his life, his or her life. So and the best thing he talked about the Sattva guna. When somebody is in that characteristics, he or she is more into he understands the thing very clearly. He understands that I don't have to do any sinful activity, and he's very clear. His mind is very clear in that. So Prabhuji, could you just tell a couple of lines that how somebody reach or come achieve this Sattva guna more and get rid of Rajoguna?
Krishna also talks about the food in Sataguna, the activities of Sataguna, the association in Sataguna. So if we continue with those activities in the food and the books that we get, association is a person or a book. So if we continue with those things, then and especially chanting and other spiritual activities, then there are still chances of going into passion and ignorance, but there are lot more chances that we remain in Sataguna. It's a matter of culture, cultivation, how we are going to cultivate ourselves.
So I think Prabhuji, more and more reading the books of Prabhupada, more and more chanting. And I think one line also explained here that always chant. Always, it's not just the beats chant, but always keep in mind chant.
Yeah,
Hare
yeah.
Krishna.
Kirtaniya Sada Hari. That will cleanse the heart of all the desires of passion and ignorance. Of course, there could be desires of goodness also, but the heart will be cleansed of that sooner or later. So it's a matter of choice. For human beings, there is choices given. Now, if we don't want to be in Sataguna, we want to be in ignorance of passion, Krishna says, so be it. It's your call, your choice. And food plays a big part. Very, very big part.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Chalo, we'll stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai
Hare
Shri
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Jai Shri
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Jai